Hello everyone and welcome back to another series that I'm starting on my channel, and as you can see we are back on an OOTP 21 screen now. I'm going to be starting a new OOTP series today, basically just because it's been by far the most successful thing and pretty much I've been doing on my channel, and pretty much the main thing that I have been doing. And when I started on my channel, I haven't posted in quite a while at this point, really only a couple weeks, but I've just been busy and kind of didn't really know what to do next after the Tiger series, since that came to an end. Tried to do an NCAA 14 series, honestly just played like a game of it and didn't really enjoy posting it or playing it at all, so don't know if I'll be continuing that. But something I do enjoy is playing OOTP, and so since I enjoy it, I'm gonna be playing it a lot more and posting a lot more. So here we're going to be starting a new series with the Colorado Rockies, a 2020 series. Now, my kind of thought process for picking the team is mostly just that, this could really be, or no, not even this year, last year could have really been the last time we see a league without the DH in the MLB. So that'd be cool to, use National League team, as I used the Tigers earlier this year in my OTP save. So that'd be cool to not only mix it up and do a National League team instead of an American League team, but this last season could have very well been the last season without a DH in the National League. So that'd be cool to give that a run one more time. Looking at kind of the Rockies' real in-game, I really decided to choose them because I think they're a pretty interesting team. Of course, last season they did not have great success, but in the previous two seasons they made the playoffs both years. So they're kind of an interesting team in that aspect, kind of up and down success, especially really throughout their entire history, pretty much up and down year to year, lots of volatility in kind of their records and such. And also kind of an interesting thing is that they do play at Coors Field, so those ballpark factors are kind of taken into account in this game. And so pitching is very hard to come by in Colorado, of course, because of the offensive environment. So developing pitchers is kind of at a premium, since no really big free agents I want to sign there. So I'm going to kind of be keeping consistent with that for the most part, probably. But I also struggle developing pitching myself in the game, at least compared to hitters. I feel like I struggle looking for the kind of best values that good pitchers have in this game. So I think that's also kind of a cool personal challenge. And kind of now talking about that, I think that kind of segues nicely into talking about the team in general. Looking here at kind of the team itself, not fantastic team, lots of veteran pieces, guys who possibly are overpaid, guys like Daniel Murphy, Ian Desmond this year as well, another kind of overpaid veteran guy who are on bad contracts. And then also some good veteran pieces such as Charlie Blackmon. Trevor Story is not really a veteran. Nolan Arenado, who's requested a trade in real life, so that's kind of a thing that we're going to be taking into account in this series as well. David Dahl, who's a pretty young outfielder who's had good success so far in his career. See if he can develop into anything. So I think lots of, definitely no shortage of storylines, especially early on this team. And pitching wise, of course, I've mentioned not fantastic. German Marquez, he's a young 25-year-old pitcher who's been pretty decent so far in his career, so we're definitely going to be relying on him early. John Gray, also a veteran, not no newcomer to Colorado, so he's there. Antonio Senzatella, he is another young guy who's there. Pretty much this entire rotation has pretty much been with Colorado all their career, and have pretty much had up and down success. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can, how they fare in this simulation. Then, of course, their bullpen, kind of a lot to be made about that. Of course, a few years ago, they made huge moves, signing, really investing in their bullpen, which, helped them get to the playoffs in the past years. But guys like Brian Shaw, he was a big failure signing. He flopped. Jake McGee, he pretty much also flopped as a big acquisition for the Rockies. And all of these guys, they're being paid huge sums of money and not really effective anymore. Luckily, they're pretty short-term contracts, or only have to deal with them for another year or two. So they shouldn't affect the team too much financially. See Wade Davis, his next year is a team option. Ian Desmond, he also has a team option 2022. Lots of team options here for the overpaid guys, which I actually didn't know. So that's kind of looking good. But yeah, not much money freed up at the moment. In fact, I don't really think we have any freed up the money. Yeah, we don't have pretty much any money to play with. So that's an interesting aspect of it. And also kind of a side note here, you'll notice nothing kind of right here. And that's because I'm not playing in challenge mode. There are kind of, a few instances in the Tiger series where I kind of wished I had challenge mode turned off. Just, because I think I mentioned before that I'm not, the most pleased with how, player position ratings develop, for instance, you say, of course, Brendan Rodgers is a pretty important young guy in the Rockies organization. Of course, he was brought up as a shortstop in the organization, or at least he was drafted as a shortstop. But, of course, they have Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado. So, of course, not really room for him to play shortstop in the major league team, at least right now. So, he has been playing at second base, in real life. And, a bit of third base, kind of moving him around a little bit. And that's the kind of thing that is really hard to develop in this game, changing a guy's position. Their positioning ratings develop super slowly. And a guy who's a shortstop, should definitely be an above average defender at second base and third base if he's a pretty good defensive shortstop. And I just haven't seen those ratings kind of translate with kind of how the experience plays out with developing other positions. So that's really something that I kind of rely on not using challenge mode for. And, if I have to nix any rule changes that I think are unrealistic or kind of wild or that I just don't like and don't want to deal with in the sim, those are also things to take into consideration. And I think that's kind of about it for what I have to say for the introduction. Let's go ahead and kind of look at prospect-wise how the team looks. I don't think there's too much prospect-wise. I have Mike Gerber here and Sam Hilliard, kind of looks like decent depth outfielders. And let's go and see some top prospects here. So here are the top prospects batter-wise for the team. Not fantastic. Pretty much primarily 2-star, 3-star guys. Not a ton of great talent here. Ryan Rollison, top pitching prospect. He's probably almost major league ready. Actually, I don't even see Brendan Rodgers in here. I guess he has enough major league experience to not be listed as a prospect anymore. Let's go ahead and do a minor league system report. I don't think the top 100 prospects are out yet. I think I have to sim an extra day or sim until opening day. So we'll just go ahead and skip forward and do that kind of thing then. Alright, so here we have the top 100 prospects now. Let's look at the top prospect report. I don't believe we'll have anyone on this list, and it doesn't look like we do. So not surprising there. Our farm system is definitely something we'll have to build up, and we actually do. We have Ryan Rollison. He is on the list, but he is the 100th player on the list. So he's the only guy and the last guy on the list. So we have the worst, lowest rated minor league system in the game at the moment. But of course, we're definitely going to be looking to build that up throughout the series. Now we're going to, of course, today's opening day. So let's take a look, or not even really take a look. Let's set up our lineups, or not set them up, because I'm only acting as the GM in this save as I did in the Tiger save, so we're not going to be able to set the day-to-day stuff usually. Any injuries, I don't think we do. Brendan Rodgers, he's out for 1 to 2 weeks, so he'll be joining the major league team after he recovers, and I'm probably send him for a rehab assignment. Peter Lambert, he's a young guy, got experience last year. He's going to be out for 8 weeks, and Justin Lawrence, do not care about that injury. But I think this is pretty much what we're going to be going with, to be honest. Lineup-wise, no reason to send anybody up, anybody down. Of course, we do have some decent outfield depth with the guys that we have, the minors there. But yeah, I mean, so nothing really to change here. I mean, the lineup's pretty set in stone, and then I don't think, yeah, I mean, there's definitely no other guys who we'd want to bring up to fill in our bullpen and starting rotation, at least not right away. So our lineup is honestly looking pretty set in stone, at least for the 2020 season. Of course, it'll be drastically shaken up as we go through this. And kind of another thing to note in this series is, we're playing the NL West, which could turn into a very, very tough division. At the moment, we're probably the fourth best team in the entire division. The Dodgers made huge moves. They could, pretty much become a dynasty. They're going to be the team to beat every year in this division for sure. But then you also have teams like the Padres, who, of course, they've made a lot of moves to kind of get into contending position. Signing Manny Machado last year, didn't have a great season, but still making lots of contending win-now moves. Fernando Tatis Jr., he's pretty much a superstar at this point by all means. Had a fantastic start to the season last year and just going off this year as well. So, I mean, they have a great offense, great rotation. Bullpen maybe a little bit to be desired besides Kirby Yates, but still they're in kind of a winning position. And the Diamondbacks also are a team that probably better than us at the moment. I don't know how, likely they'd be to sustain some of that success long term, but for now, I'm just looking at the team like with a cursory glance, and even just knowing like what happened last year, kind of how teams are performing this year. I mean, it's very likely that they're better than us this year, and better than us for the next couple years. And then the Giants, I mean, they're just bad. I really hope that we're not worse than that. I think our offense will be able to carry us to more wins than the Giants will have, and I think we'll be able to stay ahead of them. But again, the Dodgers are just probably going to dominate the NL West. So for the first kind of few years we contend, probably only have a shot at wild card spot. So that's definitely going to make things interesting for this save. And that also, I think that's kind of just going to wrap it up for this episode, the introductory episode. I hope you guys like my pick of the Rockies for a team. I've never played with them in this game before, and I think the Coors effect will add a pretty interesting kind of new thing to playing the game that I haven't really experienced before. And with a really offense heavy environment, so I think that'll be really cool to do. And I think it'd be cool to experience a National League without a DH, maybe for the very last time. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed the OOTP content, the content of my channel, and I'll see you guys very soon. I don't anticipate having a long break between uploads while I'm posting this series, so I should be here to stay for a very, very long time. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.